graduated, elevated. Now it's my time to shine, yeah, let's go. Major moves, power moves, take it to the top one time, non-stop.
To which I agree with you. And this moves on to my next question, which is, we're in the world of social media, and we know a lot of individuals who started their businesses, it was during the pandemic, really, and they got a huge following on TikTok or Instagram or even LinkedIn, essentially, because of their posts, be it blogs or videos, etc. Most of them, their businesses are doing great, you know, based on what we see on the internet again and Companies House. So what I would ask is, are you basing their success stories based on the following, or are you basing it on how the business is doing great? Because that is separate. Like you mentioned before, you said, you know, Richard Branson, the stories that he shares, I mean, amazing. Do we focus on the business or do we focus on Richard Branson?
Yeah, definitely. It's a very good question. And to answer, it's so easy for me. You know why? Because being a practitioner, especially in the marketing field, I would advise, as a practitioner and as a marketer, consultant, I would advise that every individual in their professional careers should focus on their personal platforms, because of course, social media are so important because they drive us. It's like a means of communication to drive us to what we would like to share, to our expertise and etc. But it's not our platform. It can happen just as happened with TikTok in the USA. Now, those entrepreneurs or people that based everything that they had on those followers, all of a sudden there might be a crash or a problem, whatever, so they don't own it anymore. So my answer is, it will be part of the research, of course, just as I mentioned in the very beginning, from the identity and visual online presence, how they communicate, the storytelling, etc., etc. But not only solely on the how many followers that they have. It can be a very good finding, let's say, when I gather all these data and see how it come up. It probably, I don't know, we have to wait for the findings.
Literally.
But, you know, I'm looking forward to that. I can't wait. It can be something important, which of course in the social media is such a great tool to promote, but it shouldn't be the only one. And to be honest, if we can see the most successful entrepreneurs, I will just mention here Stephen Bartlett, which I'm studying at the moment from his books, his entrepreneurships, so I'm studying him at the moment. This is how I've started. He has done them all, from how to position himself, his storytelling, and then all these. So I'm sure if one of his social media, which have millions of followers, will have a problem, or he will open a new one, I'm sure he will have within a day all those followers back. So it's not a matter of followers, it's a matter of how you position yourself, what is your reputation out there. So it will be such for the entrepreneurs I will select for my research.
Love it. Which is what you said previously, which was, what do people say about you behind closed doors? You know, because that opens doors for you. The next question is, you know, with professional branding, is it a fad? You know, is it just trending now because of everything that is happening globally? Because, for example, we know that with social media, there isn't a lot of governance. And then we've seen Australia, who've come out and said, actually, our youth, this is our generation. We need a bit of governance. So maybe with social media, we'll do A, B, C, D, for example. And we also have 5-year-olds who play video games, let's say on YouTube, and they've got their brand now. That's how they make money, essentially. So would you say it's a fad driven by lack of governance? Or would you say no?
It's 1 million questions. Because there are facts out there that, as you mentioned, a 5-year or 10-year having millions of followers because they have found a niche, probably helped by their parents, because I'm not quite confident that they open the YouTube channel themselves and etc. But which I, as a researcher, I wouldn't be biased, yes or no. But personally, I would think that it depends what an individual wants. I wouldn't decide on the brand. I wouldn't like to decide on the brand of my kids, of my boys, when they are at a very young age, unless they are a talent, let's say a very good singer, very good painter, very good actor. So which in this case, I would say, yeah, of course, it's talent. But using, if I can say, using their brand, which later on might affect, because those videos would be out there. It might affect on totally opposite way, but at least I believe, I'm saying this as a parent. I'm not, I have to examine and look on this, but as a parent, I would say that definitely individuals should decide on branding themselves professionally, or just personal branding on society, etc., after they are adults. And this is one of the things that probably at the moment I'm looking more on entrepreneurship, but other studies or in my professional, because this is what I'm also doing as a profession. I'm a personal branding coach and consultant. I would look, let's say, or create another program for graduates and for young generation, which they do all these steps of branding themselves professionally in a more planned or more deliberate way. Regarding I would say, yeah, there should be some rules and governance out there to regulate this, definitely.
Which moves me on to the next question, which is the word professional. I mean, we're talking about personal professional branding, but in my opinion, which may be different.
Please do challenge me.
Is that the word professional or profession is subjective, because I can come in with a low-cut top in certain industries and that's deemed as professional. I may go to a different organization or different industry and they would think maybe I'm not meant to be in that building, for example. Or with my nails, people may look at my nails and be like, no. She's very unprofessional, right? So when you say professional, because it's subjective, like, through my examples, which is the right way? Because I think a lot of students, they are rather confused, because we are taught that we are all equal, we're all the same, and that, you do smart casual, and you go into certain industries and they're shocked that you've come in as smart casual because they expect you to be suited and booted. So with all of this knowledge that we find on social media, sorry, I'm just going off here and around, but I'm going to the question, how does one know that this is what professional means and this is how I should be as a professional? Like I said, my nails, some people are looking at them going, Noma, get rid. Just as an example.
Yeah, exactly. So in my research, what I'm looking at, trying to examine, is more the career aspect, the professional aspect, which the professional or the career can be defined. You might be into marketing industry, you might be into pharmaceutical industry, you might be into medicine, you might be into beauty, which allows your long nails or hairstyle, you might be in fashion industry. It can be anything, but it's part of your career. So how you brand, I would say, in my case, I might be a very good singer and I can sing now a song for you, but this is not my profession. So in, let's say, in my family, family, friends, and all these, my environment of close friends, relatives, they might know me, and still this is my personal branding as well, as a funny person, somebody that can sing, can act, can paint, can do all these. But this is not how I want to brand myself professionally. Of course, all these are my can be my strength or my what I have in the creativity. So all these can sum up like I'm a creative person. So creativity in this case is my strength to apply in my professional aspects of being a successful marketer or helping individuals to build their personal professional branding. And what it can define if it's professional here, what you mentioned is more the style. And so what your style is, and I totally agree that you should be yourself. Whatever it is, whatever you feel good, you might feel good with red long nails, and that's just fine. You might feel good with your hair, braids. It, to me, as a professional consultant on this topic, and as I'm researching on that, this is the true meaning of it. Being yourself. So people would not look at you, how you're dressing. Probably that shows how your style is. I don't mean not to have an appropriate outfit or to be funny or whatever. So whatever it is in that framework of what is considered like a style. So it's not that definitely is to be professional, you have to wear a suit or a dress. It can be with a simple t-shirt. It can be also with a band that you have. It's everything that defines you, how your style is. So it's definitely professional wise is your career, but adding here all your unique and authenticity that you have in your within you, so as a person.
So, while we're focusing on branding and personal in terms of what a person should look like, we'll put it that way. I read in a book, and it was stories from different CEOs in the US, that is. And one of them did mention body weight. And he said, your employees... Body weight.
Weight, yeah.
And he said, basically, your employees, they look at you. And if you're chubby, to put it that, I can't say fat, okay, I'll say fat. If you are fat on the heavier side of the scale, he goes, how can they respect you when you don't know how to practice self-regulation when it comes to eating, and you don't know how to discipline your mind and your body? So then how do your employees look up to you? You cannot be a leader because you don't know how to look after yourself. And this made me think, but I'll pass it back to you. What are your thoughts on that?
I wouldn't consider. So the weight can be, because if we have to analyze it, weight can be because of several reasons.
Of course.
Starting from health issue, maybe since somebody was a kid, was overweight because of not being well fed from their parents. There might be several reasons. Which, of course, being overweight, I'm saying overweight, being chubby is just okay. It's a matter of how somebody considers, because what is fat or chubby for somebody, it might not be for somebody else. But I'm just considering here overweight, which being overweight, which cause lots of other issues. I totally agree that somebody would look after themselves for health issue rather than, of course, it can affect in the work, but I wouldn't consider as, if somebody would do the work, why do you have to worry about their weight?
Logical
of course
question.
It's not really. I know. I'm just throwing this question to those people that, of course, this person cannot be in a nutrition related in a nutrition environment. Let's say, all right, you want to let's say lose weight, come to our and then you see somebody, you know what I mean. But if that person, which might be overweight, is working on a computer and is working perfectly fine, what does it has to do with the weight, with the work? The brain is inside.
Again, very logical. And in his defense, in the book that is, I'll look for the name and I'll share it
Please do.
at the bottom. He was saying, you know, if you can't self-regulate and control yourself and be disciplined, how do people look up to you as a leader? Because clearly you don't know how to say no and you don't know when to say yes. Because with food, you have an unhealthy habit. I think to him, it was more of a metaphor, and also because I think he did gain weight and then he had to lose it. And then he realized actually his discipline is a mind game to lose weight. So no, I'll share the link again. But
Please
again,
do.
logical questions from your side. The next question that I have
Yeah, but
is,
this was only personal. I have not researched on that. So
no, I
but
love
you know,
we need
it falls
opinions.
really, it falls to the image, as you mentioned, of course, to the image, the how people look, how they perceive you, if you are on one side or the other, if they, it's something, yeah, honestly, something that it can be researched more on that. But this was only my personal opinion, not to be.
No, I
It was totally biased.
Yeah, I know it's not a part of your research, but I thought it interesting because you're looking at professional branding, and if there's an anecdote like that that's flying around, which means maybe 50% of the population does believe in it, or maybe 40% or 30%, who knows? I haven't done the research either. But I thought it interesting to see that a CEO is saying such a thing. To me, it makes me think it's quite difficult then to get into those C positions if you're a bit on the chubby side or on the unhealthy side. It could be health reasons, or it could be just I love food, you know, that's what it is.
It's a very good, can be a very good research on its own. So you sparked me a thought on that research.
I love
After
it.
I finish this one, of course.
More publications, why not?
Yeah.
So the question I have for you is, how do you cope with a difficult supervisor during your PhD or your DBA?
You mean the supervisors? I've been since the very beginning, from friends and family and everybody that has their experiences or know about that, told me, oh, I hope you will have a very good supervisor because they might be like a great help for you. I've been lucky enough to have two very good supervisors. One is very focused on academic aspect and the other on practical aspects. So it's the perfect match. And they are they are demanding, which is very good for me, in the sense of they wouldn't compromise at any moment. So any time that I will send, let's say, an email or meet them, they would go into detail. So this, I think, is very important for me. That will ease, it will make a bit tough for the time being, but the final destination, then it will be much easier because I don't need to go back to things, and so they are preparing me for the right journey. So far so good. I'm so happy. They are also very, let's say, very friendly and very open to share with me. They have lots of experience with other doctoral students as well. So I'm so happy for that.
No, I love it. And the next question is, do you feel fulfilled when you publish an article? Since you published.
Yeah. So this article that will soon be published, so it's peer reviewed, so it's ready to publish. You know, Noma, and everybody that is in academia, how hard it is and what a long journey is to publish an article, because it's not like articles at least for me, which I'm in marketing, it's easy to publish an article in a magazine or a journal if it's like very interesting topic. But in this case, it can be a very interesting topic, but it's not well written, it's not well researched, it's not in the structure as it is, and etc. So it was almost a year ago when I submitted this my research. It's a research note because it's a pilot study where I did a research on freelancers, so how personal professional branding is perceived and their success factors on freelancers and these brain workers, which are called. When I sent it over to the journal, and they replied me back that we have selected your article to be published, wait for further instructions for it's over for the peer review and all this. Being in the very early stages of, I was so happy because I was, listening to all, even our professors or everybody else that, I have not published any publication so far. So I said, wow, it's a very good feeling because you have been working on that. And then after, when I received the peer review version with some comments and changes and all these adaptations that they do and comments, I was reading it because I spent lots of time. I was reading it and I said, wow, this is really good. So I was proud of myself. But probably because people are so, at least it happens to me and it might happen with lots other, it's because people are very criticizing on their work. So I would have done better. But when you have this reply back and you have like a validated or that, this is the good work, is the research, and we can share it with other researchers, it makes you feel so happy. I can say I'm proud of myself.
No, I love it. I love it. I think, often we see on Twitter as well where people have publish or perish, and there's a certain stigma that's around it in terms of publishing. So it's always good to hear when someone says, actually, I'm happy. I love it. So, brilliant. The next question that I have is, do you have any words of encouragement for somebody who wants to resign from their DBA program?
As I mentioned from the very beginning, people that step into a doctoral journey, they should prepare themselves for this kind of pressure. So I would first advise everybody that would like to go in this journey to study carefully, so explore, talk to other people that have gone through this journey, probably discuss with them, analyze before starting. But still, as your question is, they have already started, they won't resign. It depends in which stage they are. We had a colleague of ours that he resigned, which it was in the very first steps.
Yeah.
Which when we discussed, it was like, because it didn't feel like it was the right thing. So if you have not started yet, so it's only in the phase of exploring, and you feel that this is not the right thing and in alignment in my career, whatever I do, I think it can be just fine. But if it is in a certain stage or in a certain step of the journey that you are almost in halfway or almost finishing it, you have to go for it. You have to make that pressure as a privilege and finish it. And I think everybody can do that if somebody else did, of course, all we can do. So, but if it doesn't align from the very beginning, I guess it can be just fine not to turn it in a real stress. So if they don't consider the pressure as a motivation for them to carry on. I don't know if I answered, but it's quite a tough, because it depends. There might be lots of circumstances why somebody decides to resign. It might be everything, because in this journey, we don't do only, so especially people that decide to do a DBA or a PhD is in a certain position or career or life journey with family commitments and financial commitments. There might be several reasons behind, and I don't know which are the reasons. But if it's only for a motivational reason, or because I'm not good enough, or because I cannot do it for this, I'm 100% sure that if you have decided the right topic, if you are being consistent, not leaving everything only on one day or 1 month or 1 year. So it's a big journey. It's everybody can do that and finish.
No, thank you. That was a well thought out response. And I think people resign for different reasons, but sometimes it's not actually the DBA or the PhD or the MBA. It's other factors essentially. And I think I have 3 colleagues who've taken time out just to get themselves together to come back and try and finish the race. So I think it's very individually based, and we can't
It
give a
is.
universal answer.
It
So the
is.
final question is, do you think PhD Hard Talk is beneficial for the research community and universities alike? Or do you think, Norma, that's it, call it a day, it's not working, it's rubbish? What are your thoughts?
Definitely it's worth it, Noma. How would you doubt? We are talking here about personal branding. I really believe, it's a joke. I really truly believe that it will be a contribution, and not because I'm doing it. All other researches that all are on personal branding, which, to be honest, there are not a lot. Especially in professional aspects, they are sometimes named as self-branding, career development, all aspects of it. But I think it will be a very good contribution, and also why not? It can be a very good start for somebody else research. Whatever the limitations of my research would be, to start from there. If I would be able to fill in like a very tiny inch wide but miles deep gap, of course, it will be considered as a contribution. I'm not aiming to resolve all aspects and all issues of personal branding. I'm aiming to research, explore, and also bring to the community in practice, to all these entrepreneurs, a framework, a model, some key success factors and strategies that are based on a research in practice and in theory all together, and hope they will shine out there with their professional brands. So definitely, I believe, and I really hope it is.
Yeah, I love it, and thank you for explaining, because do you know what? There is a trick to explaining your research, and I think you've just summarized it nicely in terms of what you're looking to do, and also what you hope to gain, and what you think other people can come in and do. So thank you so much. People struggle to state that information. The question that I'm trying to get to is PhD Hard Talk, the platform that you're on. Is it a good idea or is it a bad idea?
Of course, it's a bad idea. Noma, to be honest, it has been since the very first time that I saw this talks, and since I've been attending and watching, and it's amazing. It's amazing because it gives opportunity to everybody to share not only their experience, but also their knowledge on the topic. And of course, during these conversations, we can also exchange. So today I have made lots of notes on what you said. So it helps me in my journey as well, honestly. So being open-minded and being open to discuss all these. So I'm on my way for my doctoral journey until the very end. So I would like to do as many talks as possible. So when I finish it, all this journey is full, and all the pearls of wisdom are shaped in that perfect and in a line with the perfect size and the perfect line and the perfect color and everything. So this is what makes this PhD Hard Talk an excellent platform for researchers and professors as well. Why not? And I love the way it's so friendly, and in the meantime, it's not very academic. Of course, we are into academia, but it's like a talk which everybody can be inspired or sparked to not only learn something new, but why not to jump into the research world? All these constraints that people thought that, just like me, I thought doing a research or doing a doctorate can be so terrifying thing, which after a few years I figured it out that it's more about adding more knowledge to yourself and researching and exploring, and so it's an amazing platform, I could say, that gives the opportunity to everybody that is in academia, researchers, and also that background makes it special. and your smile and your way
Oh,
how you accommodate and you welcome your guests, and also the music in the background when you promote these
thank
guests.
you.
Everything makes it, at least to me, an excellent platform. So make it all together, all in one.
Thank you very much, Suela, for your time today. So for more information, all the links in terms of publications, email address, your social media information will be at the bottom, so you can get in contact. And then in terms of your publication, which we're all waiting for, drum roll, we'll probably share that on LinkedIn. For those who are on LinkedIn, that will be shared on there. Thank you again for your time today, and also for sharing in terms of your research journey, your learnings, your reflections, and also what you think you could look into in the near future. So I love it. Thank you again for your time.
Thank you, Noma. Thank you for having me. It was such a pleasure. And yeah, it was amazing being with you today.